through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Different live free picks for today's action. So make sure you like and subscribe and set those notifications. Be live with us to get the plays in real time and get the best numbers. Before we get underway, just remind you of a few things. Our promo code, you can save 20% off all premium pick packages when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You can access our page by clicking the link you see in the description. Click the All Cappers tab and get signed up. Always love to hear from you guys, so post your picks in the comments. And of course, our podcast is Tony's Picks Podcast. We put every pick in podcast form on our podcast page, available on all major platforms. Just search Tony's Picks in the search bar. And our website is Tony'sPicks.com. We are a multi-capper site showcasing top cappers in our industry. Click the links to the hot cappers. Get signed up to some of our long-term passes. You'll see Mindy there, top of the board, doing great work there. Ben as well. Probably's been doing great. You'll see our latest premium picks here on the center of the page. And of course, our best bets. Our cappers have their best bets up right now from a lot of the major sports. A good card here for Tuesday, mix of NBA, college hoops, NHL, college football. Click the link and get signed up. We've got the $15 premium pick in. Each capper can designate one of their plays from their card as a $15 premium pick. Just introduce their service to new and existing customers. Many want to make good impressions. You see that best bet there at that $15 price point. Our 3 picks offer great value there. Many up there on the site right now, so take a look. Or if you prefer, you can purchase the picks a la carte on our pick ticker with team versus team information. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get underway. I think we got to the promo code. We did. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get this one underway. With us today, we've got Ramon and Mindy Hahn. All right, let's get game day picks underway. Let's welcome in Mindy Hahn. You'll find her over at Tony'sPicks.com. Doing great work up there on the boards, leaderboards. If you've seen her, let's bring her in right now. Mindy, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Just enjoying some more college football afternoons. I like it.
Yes, college football afternoons indeed. We have 4 on the board today and 4 tomorrow, so it's gonna fill our screens there from morning to night. So that's pretty cool. And then of course, college basketball tips in tomorrow with some afternoon action again tomorrow. So we have a lot going on this week. It's a busy week here in the colleges, as well as some pro football as well. So and NBA. So tonight we'll get look going here with it on ESPN. We have Coastal Carolina here facing East Carolina. East Carolina is the favorite here, laying 7, total 66.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a fun one tonight. Can't wait. I'm excited to see how it plays out, both the side and the total here today. Coastal Carolina, they're kind of a little bit of a team in flux. This bowl season as their head coach left for Liberty University. So today, the defensive coordinator will be at the helm. And then, of course, their quarterback, McCall, he entered the transfer portal, but I guess does plan on playing this game here still. Coastal lost their last game here to Troy. Even though they have that good quarterback, they still only tend to, throw the ball only 42% of their plays. So, I think that might be a little bit of a problem for them because this ECU team, they're no joke, especially on the rush defense side, which marks them about 19th in the FBS. So East Carolina, I know they're a little bit leaky or have been here, on defense as of late. That's why I think maybe this matchup might be pretty good for them as they're coming up against a little bit more of a run-heavy team here as well. But for me, I'm going to take a look at the total here. I'm going to go under in this game. If I take a look at just like the last 3 here, Coastal has only put up 19 points on average here. East Carolina only 25. Both of these teams give up about 38 on defense here. And that's what I'm saying. The last 3, we know that everyone here has been a little bit leaky. But if I take a look at this rolling average, Tony, this only puts them at about a 57, 61 point game here. So for me, that's well under the total here. Almost gives me a full touchdown of leeway here in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and take the under 66 today.
The under 66. We see sometimes offensive rust can fix the leak sometimes. That's how we see that here in some of these bowl games where you expect some of these high-flying offenses to take off. They just don't for some reason. I think if you're Grayson McCall playing in this game, you're probably not happy hearing the news that Sam Hartman is transferred to Notre Dame because some had McCall in that hunt for that Notre Dame job. So that was something that might have been a motivation. Remember, we saw Sam Hartman motivated in that Missouri game. And again, for some of these mid-major quarterbacks, this is pretty much their audition because they are looking to transfer. More importantly, they are looking for that. They probably know their chances to get to that next level are very slim. But it's that NIL money they're looking for. You
Right.
know, I mean, it wasn't Sam. Someone just got paid $1 million to come. I think it was that Western Kentucky quarterback, right? One of the boosters
Yeah.
gave $1 million to come back to the
Yeah,
school.
I think
So,
when Ramon was talking about it, I think he said it was like a real estate agent gave him $1 million to stay.
yeah,
So
yeah. Some fan
crazy.
man gave him that kind of money. I guess that's what they're looking for. They're looking for some NIL money because the Missouri coach mentioned that. He goes, "Yeah, I'm okay if they're transferring if they're looking for some life changing money, or again to audition for the NFL." And again, the McCall kind of fits that category right now.
It's kind of funny when, we started talking about playing players. I never thought it was going to be like millions of dollars, right? Like that never really crossed my mind. Maybe I'm just naive to everything, right? Maybe I'm, stuck in the 80s and 90s still, I don't know. But yeah, I was really surprised at how much money. I mean, there is even the one, guy from North Carolina that's, saying that maybe he got 5 million to stick around. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this works out. I know that, the Huskers are some big players here that have a lot of that NIL money that they're going to start, I think, using their pocketbook to get players here as well. Again, I don't know if it's going to be good or bad for the sport. I obviously thought paying players was going to be good for the sport, but I don't know about $5 million paying players.
Yeah,
Because
well,
that's good for the
I know.
sport, right?
It's funny because we see it with the coaches, right? Where did this money come from? The coaches are paying all these coaches. Now we're starting to see it trickle down to the players.
Right. I mean, there is a lot of money out there, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Right?
some of these, rich guys, I don't get it, man. I mean, again, it's one thing being a fan and then, throwing millions of dollars to some of these guys that'll probably be playing, be 1 year on the school. But again, that's
Well,
when
yeah,
you
I mean, I'm surprised that even, some of these smaller schools are getting that type of money as well, right? But yeah, if I kind of go back to this game here, kind of got sidetracked there a little bit. If I take a look at just this total, the 66, Coastal's 1-3 to the under if that's set at 62, and it's the same with ECU. They're 1-3 to the under when that total is set this high. So I do think it's a good spot for this game to fall under the total. Maybe if you got it early on, where I think it came out at about 58 or so. Shoot, you might be on the over here in this game and feeling pretty good about yourself there too. So yeah, but today with the way the line stays, if you're last minute better, I think the under is the way to go today.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel good about any over in the bowl game. Any over. It's just any. So it's weird sometimes. Sometimes defense don't show up, but there seems some rust here in some of the offense. But all this player movement, coaching movement, there's a lot going on here. It's a lot of, and of course recruiting. We just had signing day, so all these are distractions trying to prepare teams, especially the signing day because it gets such notoriety now. Working the transfer portals, you're spending more time away from preparing the team and trying to get just to stabilize your team for next season.
Right.
So it's on the mind of these coaches. Coastal Carolina, East Carolina under 66. This one will have a start time here of 6:45 Eastern time. ESPN, the third game of the triple header on ESPN. There's going to be a late one tonight, too. So lots of action tonight. All right, Mindy, let's take a look over at Tony'sPicks.com. NHL is back in action. And Mindy's doing great work in the NHL. Of course, with that, and we've got a big NBA card. We got some college, a few, some college hoop up there. That's what I'll say. I was going to use other words, but we'll leave it there. What do you have going over at Tony's Picks?
Well, yeah, I'm glad the NHL's back after being, off a couple days. That's what me and Ramon kind of talked about, this morning. We're excited to get back on track, so I will be in on 4 games in the NHL. I have a 3-pack for the NHL, plus my best bet. Then I have 3 games in play for the NBA, where I swept my card last night. And then I have 1 play in that college basketball game that I think you might be previewing here a little bit later today. So yeah, I mean, I have a lot in action, and then I went ahead and packaged those NHL and NBA games together here. If that's something that you're looking for, to get quite a few plays here today. If you're bored, after being off work, maybe you still have some time off here over the next week. You could go ahead and buy these plays a la carte, or you could go ahead and use that cash to go ahead and purchase something a little bit longer term to get you through all the way, maybe a week-long pass. I mean, that would give you an absolute ton of action, in the NBA, in the NHL, college football, college basketball, and the NFL. So I think that's the best, probably the best place to put your money right now, since we're getting, through these bowl games here pretty quick. Only got another week left in the year here as well. So yeah, get signed up. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout.
That's right. Use promo code Tony T at checkout, and you'll save 20% off all pre-pick packages. And right now, over on the site, Mindy, again, as she was mentioning, action in the NBA with the guaranteed 3-pack up there as well. Also in action with the 3-pack here from the NHL. And a lot going on tonight. The 7-pack where she bundles in NHL and NBA. Also, best bet here from the NHL as well as college hoops. But again, here we are on a Tuesday. And this is really, I think, the best value right now is this weekly all sports pass, because as Mindy was talking about, we're getting a lot of college basketball, and a lot of college football in a condensed period of time. We got days where we're going to have 4 games, days with 3 games, days with 5 games. Of course, when you get that weekly all sports pass, it includes all of the college football that goes all the way through next Monday, which would be that's January 2nd, right? So you got you got the big bowls, right? You got the January 2nd Rose Bowl and the bowls there, as well as, of course, all that early action from that January 2nd. Remember, we're thinking January 1st, but there's no bowls on January 1st because it's January 2nd because of the NFL. So you got all those New Year's Day type bowls on January 2nd. So Rose Bowl and all in what you have there. New Year's Eve, you have the playoff games. Plus, you got Alabama and Kansas State, another matchup as well. So lots of actually, I have it right in front of me. So there's a lot going on right now, with these bowl games. So most of the bowls, rest of the bowls here, when you get that 7-day pass and the 2 playoff games. All the NFL, we got NFL Thursday, Sunday, Monday, and we've got the NBA, the NHL, college hoops. Tomorrow it really ramps up. Now we're going to start to feel the conference plays starting tomorrow. Now we got through the Christmas break. So tomorrow it's when they start to load up the big cards. So get ready, get ready. So that 7-day pass is the way to go. You can use that, as we mentioned. You could use that promo code Tony T at checkout, and you'll save 20% off all her packages. You can access Mindy's page by clicking the link you see in the description. Click the All Cappers tab, and then you will land right on Mindy's page. And there you go. And you scroll down, you find the plays that are in orange, which are profit guarantee, meaning they must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account for side credits. That's profit guarantee. Or the longer term passes, which are in yellow, which are not guaranteed because they're sold already at a big discount. You can see that there. So go ahead and get signed up. All right, Mindy, we put together a Twitter account for you over at Tony6Mindy. And you had your morning Steam show today, a couple hours of a lot of content there today with the NBA and NHL and some bowl games.
Yeah, my other free pick today out on Twitter is going to be in the late night bowl game, so you might as well get signed up now. Go to @Tony'sPicksMindy, where you can find my other free play. Again, we usually put out a couple a day there, so you'll get even more free picks from us. And then be sure you go ahead and if you're up early in the morning, catch the morning Steam, where we get all of the line movement. We get the best of the best. We get this chat room that gets together with, Mindy and Ramon, and we come together with consensus plays. I think we have about 8 or 9 consensus plays today. Can't remember specifically. But yeah, again, these are our best of the best, and we do go ahead and repackage those, and we put them out on the site over at tonyspicks.com for purchase. If there's, for some reason, you can't go ahead and watch the show or go back and get your picks and find out those consensus plays, they are out there and available. But otherwise, yeah, make sure you catch us in the chat. We had tons of folks today. Lots of people must still be off of work, so we're almost hitting 60 today in the chat room. So it was a lot of fun. We have a good time, so make sure you check us out. We'll go over more college football tomorrow, NBA, NFL, maybe NFL. We're getting close. I'll have to see.
All right, maybe NFL. NHL, yeah, there's a lot going on. So check out, of course, a lot more college hoops tomorrow because we got a lot of conference games in action as well. So check out the morning Steam Saturday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with Mindy and Ramon. If you happen to miss any of the show, you can go back and watch the replay. It's been archived. Or if you're at work right now, you're driving home from work, the podcast is Tony's Picks Podcast, available on all major platforms. You'll find the morning Steam there and listen on your way home. A couple hours today with a lot of content up there. The entire NBA, NHL cards, a few college football, some college basketball as well. So go ahead and tune it in to the morning Steam there on the podcast. All right, Mindy, as always, great having your show. Keep up that great work, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
All right. Thanks so much. Even though I am a little bit upset that we don't have bowl games on January 1st. I just want to put that out there.
There you go. The NFL. The 14 NFL games.
Don't you always look forward to the Rose Bowl, though, on January 1st? I'm a little bit mad about it.
I know that. They could have just played the game. They should just play the games late afternoon, but there you go.
Right. Exactly. Break that up a little bit. Make the NFL share.
That's right. They should.
All right. Take care, Tony. Thanks so
Take
much.
care, Mindy. You got it. Mindy on here on Game Day Picks. Guys, we're with you here, Game Day Picks, Monday through Friday here at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you like, subscribe, set those notifications. We want you live with us to get the plays in real time to get the best numbers. All right, speaking of the best numbers, let's bring in Ramon Scott. You'll find him over at Tony'sPicks.com. Let's bring him in right now. I think we're ready to roll here with Ramon. Ramon, what's happening?
Yeah, I read an article yesterday about the death of the Rose Bowl, not meaning the Rose Bowl's going anywhere, but when you see the Rose Bowl involved so on with every couple of years with the semifinals, it takes away from the old Big Ten, Pac-10. It was really such an incredible tradition for so many years. I mean, it transcended, world sport, really, something that people from around the world kind of looked at as a reflection of American society. And that's gone because it's all winner take all now, Tony.
That's the way it is. And of course, I think USC and UCLA moving to the Big Ten really changes the total landscape out on the West Coast. It's going to be it's going to have more of a national feel to it more than the regional feel. It's going to be major conference schools. But again, I blame the teams that are around them, not them. They need to, some of these schools that were like your Oregon States, your Washington States, just they don't pull their own weight. And it's in Colorado. I mean, it's Deion came a little too late. He just came a little too late. Had he got there a little sooner, maybe things would have been different. But anyway, we go to the hardwood tonight. NBA as the Mavericks here host the Knicks. The Mavs up to -5, total to 18.5.
Well, I'm contrarian again with these Mavericks when it comes to the total, Tony. Now, it's worked for me to go contrarian against the public on the show here, but not when I've done it against the Mavericks when I've tried to go over with them. I'm going to try it one more time. I mean, this game is getting more under action from the public than any other game today, for sure, because you got the perception of the Knicks definitely, kind of a defensive-oriented team. Dallas certainly relies on their defense as well. Two defensive reputations, that's reflected with this low total, the lowest on the board today. But the Mavericks, they're 11-7 to the over at home. The Knicks have gone over in 4 straight. We know the Knicks had an 8-game winning streak snapped, and then they lost 3 in a row, including that game to Philadelphia on Christmas. Meanwhile, Dallas now has won 3 straight. They dumped the Lakers on Christmas Day. But remember when the Lakers came out in the third quarter, that big third quarter that Dallas had, the big scoring that happened in the third quarter, 51 points in that game. So, the Knicks maybe have a little bit more of a reputation for their defense, and this is supposed to be the Jalen Brunson game back home. Now, they did already meet once this season back in December, and Dallas won that one. They scored 121 points on the road against the Knicks. Brunson, though, actually is questionable for this game, so be interested to see if the line moves if he does come into this game, maybe with closer to game time, get more word on his status. But he is the biggest question mark, and he's been the top storyline in this game really over the last few days leading up, last 2 days leading up to this game, the big Jalen Brunson returns home game. So, like I said, they did meet once already, but that was in New York in this East-West matchup. So I do like some of the Knicks offensively here for sure. R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle, I think, would be in pretty good position to achieve their averages and more with their matchup against the Mavericks, even with the Mavericks' reputation defensively. Look, these two teams are still in the top 10 in adjusted offensive rating, which might be against what everyone else is thinking about these two teams. The Mavericks are 7th in adjusted offensive rating with 114.8 points per 100 possessions. That's 7th in the league. Meanwhile, the Knicks are 10th in the league with 114.5 points per 100 possessions. So I think the perception of the defense is there, but they're still playing a little bit. I don't want to say it's tempo, because if you look at the tempo ratings, they're not as strong, but the points per possession rank, like I said, in the top 10 per 100 possessions, rank in the top 10 in the league. You got Luka, obviously, he's got a pretty good matchup here. I mean, for a guy scoring close to 33 points a game, he might get over that average today. And also, Dinwiddie has a pretty sharp matchup, I would think, too, probably against Quentin Grimes. So I would think Dinwiddie can have a strong game here now. Dorian Finney-Smith is out. Kemba Walker, though, he is probable. You like to see him in there. And another guy I like to see in there for this total to go over, Tony, that maybe he's overlooked. Christian Wood has come in and done some good scoring stepping into the starting lineup. And although Jason Kidd has kind of pushed him back on the bench quite a bit because of his defensive ability. Luka has said, let's keep Wood in there. Let's put Wood in the game and use his offense, because I don't think Christian Wood is very strong defensively at all, and that could be the liability here that I need to get this one over, because I think Wood will get a lot of run today in the starting lineup. Now his matchup is pretty tough. I figure especially if he's up against Julius Randle, but the reason Wood is in there is for his offense, not for his defense. So that's the way I'm kind of seeing this one, Tony. Look, this one's taking more action from the public on the under. The little odd sites that I like to follow, the percentage sites, are showing close to anywhere from 70 to 75% of the tickets and money coming in on the under. That's fine. That's the way I want it. I want to be contrarian in a spot like this, and I'm going to go over the 218.5 here with the Knicks and the Mavericks. The Steam came in on the under, and the Steam actually kind of been worth fading here, believe it or not. Even though I always talk about it being a Steam chaser, I'm kind of fading a lot of Steam today, and this is one of the spots that I'm going to do it in.
I think you have your early steam and you have your late steam, right? I mean, sometimes the late money is really where they really pound it more. So it's because it can change throughout the day. So when you look at that number, but early on, we have seen it move from an opener of 221 down to 218.5. But who's to say as we get closer to the game time that it may not move? Well, of course, the big question is the Brunson news. That is the big question mark. Some people are trying to guess whether or not he plays. That can factor into the movement there on the line here at 218.5. As you mentioned, these teams have had that impression of being a defensive style team, but you look at the Knicks here, they've gone over in 4 straight in that period, 125 points per 100 possessions, giving up 121 per 100 at home. At home, the Mavericks over in 3 of 4, averaging 122 per 100, allowing 116 per 100. So these are two teams that are playing kind of a form reversal here. Without them of defensive style teams, but we're seeing a lot of offense and giving up some points here lately from these teams.
Tony, you looked at the same numbers. I'm basing a lot of this pick on the net adjusted ratings for sure, because if you look at kind of the over under situation here, this series is a dead under with these two teams. But again, like I said, Dallas was able to put up 121 points on them on the road, and those net adjusted numbers is what's putting me on this total, and the bargain price of 218.5. The fact that it got steamed down from that opener of 121. I already was kind of touting it as maybe my free play in that. On the show here, and that only solidified it when it got hit to the under early on this morning. So that's why it put me on it. Mavs, they can score a little bit more at home, I think. The Knicks, that losing streak, I don't want to say the winning streak was a fluke. I hope it wasn't. I want the Knicks to play well and be a contender. Both teams are 18-16. The Knicks, maybe it's a slight surprise. Never. The expectations are always going to be a little higher, but I don't think anybody thought the Knicks coming in were going to be gangbusters, especially in their division with Boston and Philly, where you're going to take your lumps, certainly. But Dallas certainly is one of the most underachieving teams in the league so far. Like I said, that was a key thing there to get Luka to tell Kidd. That's the way I see it. That's the way the Mavericks blog sites kind of see it. I don't think we see it necessarily in the mainstream media, but it was Luka that kind of pushed Kidd into me.
Please try again.
Sorry, Siri. I must have said the wrong thing there. Lucas, I'm trying to think of what words sound like that. Anyways, it's been Jason Kidd that kind of has kept Wood out of more action here, and Luka's kind of pushed on Kidd a little bit to get his offense into the lineup, and he is a defensive liability in my opinion, especially against a guy like Julius Randle today. Could have a pretty strong performance here on the road. So Mindy and I like the Knicks in the game today on the early show, and I think if the Knicks do come out on top, I think it'll be an over. If Dallas, gets a convincing win here, not a close game, which indications are it's going to be a close game given this slim spread. But if Dallas were to get a double-digit victory, then this play is going to go down in flames probably here. But a close game or a Knicks win, I see it going over.
All right, we got Ramon Knicks Mavericks over 218.5. This one will start here at 8:40 Eastern time. All right, Ramon, let's take a look over at Tony'sPicks.com for today's action. Of course, the results here in the NHL. The NHL has restarted 2849 units in the NHL for 2022. Big NHL card. We got a 10-game NBA card. A few college hoops up there. Some primetime college football as well. What do you have going on over at Tony's Picks?
Well, Tony, all of my action is with Mindy so far in the NHL today, so that bodes well. We were kind of banging our heads together a little bit. Why, I've got the strong NHL numbers. She's got the strong NHL numbers. Our consensus on the show in the NHL has just been okay, but the fact that we agreed on 5 games in the NHL, I might just leave it at that. And our consensus plays, if you will, over at Tony'sPicks.com. Now you can go back and watch the show, pick those up, or subscribe to our package over there, The Morning Steam, where you get all of our plays that we discuss on the show. You get them for free, or you can pick them up in a convenient package today over at Tony's Picks. For me, Tony, I'm going to focus on professional basketball tonight. I got a 3-pack up right now of early games for $30 at Tony'sPicks.com. 2 totals and a side on the early portion of the card. Maybe I'll come up with something late, but Mindy and I have a couple of picks over there on that consensus card. Don't be afraid to pick that one up if you don't want to go back and watch a bunch of videos and everything. But also, Tony, I've got 2 plays in college football tonight. In the Birmingham Bowl, in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, and also I've put those together in a convenient 5-pack with the 3 basketball games. There you see it there, just $35 for my top 3 NBA plays and top 2 college football plays. So a convenient 5-pack if you want to get involved with the 2 sports over at Tony'sPicks.com with my premium picks. So like what you said, Tony, about those unders, certainly got another one coming here, and trying to conceptualize why it's happening. But I think a lot of times, kind of like all-star games, when you're putting different players in the lineup and whatnot, with some of the opt-outs, the offense is often going to be a little more challenged against defensive units, even if they have more opt-outs. And on the other side as well, the defenses can usually be a step ahead of the offenses, is the only thing that I can think there. So, hey, consider my 2 college football plays there tonight. They're both in separate packages, because I do have the one game that has my $15 play on it there. I think that was the early game, actually. That was the game that just went off, I think, possibly. So I'm sorry about that, Tony. Both my college football plays tonight are in separate packages, $25 each over there. If you don't want to get that 5-pack, you can pick them up a la carte. With me over there in those 2 bowl games. We're in action right now with the Utah State and Memphis game, that one having just gone off about 15 minutes ago. So it's going to be basketball and football for me, Tony. Might come up with some late action for you, but that's my focus today over at Tony'sPicks.com.
That's right, guys. Got a bar here from Mo Scott over at Tony'sPicks.com. Great results here as we flashed here for you in the NHL. Right now it's showing over 2,849 units of profit. Right now over on the site, Ramon in here with a 3-pack here from the NBA, as he mentioned. 5-pack Tuesday, 2-sport 5-pack up there. NBA and his 2 top selections for college football. Also in action with the bowl game premium up there as well, and a discount $15 premium play. So go ahead and get up over Ramon Scott over at Tony's Picks. Now, we've mentioned this in a prior segment here, that's weekly all sports pass is really a great value right now. You get all of Ramon's premium plays here for 7 days. Includes all his NHL, his NBA, his college hoops, as well as NFL. Remember, we have NFL here on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. And, of course, the bowl games, where we have a lot of bowl games coming up right now. And this will include now, with that 7-day pass, your playoff games on New Year's Eve, and of course the Rose Bowl and the big bowls on January 2nd. So that is covered there with that 7-day pass. Probably the best time to get the 7-day pass with all these great college football bowl games coming up here. We're seeing big cards with 4 games, 3 games. There'll be some more as we get toward New Year's Eve. Of course, your NFL, all your sports there. Of course, college basketball. The big conference schools start to kick off tomorrow, so we're going to have these massive cards where these conference games, they become a lot more meaningful now in college basketball. So get on board with that 7-day pass, and we'll save you some money here when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You can access Ramon's page by clicking the link you see in the description. Click the All Cappers tab, and then you'll land right on Ramon's page, and you'll be ready to go ahead and get signed up to his 7-day pass, which I think is very good. Instead of buying all these plays individually, you can save a lot of money. Just buy that 7-day pass and then use that promo code and save even more money. All right, Ramon, we put together a Twitter account for you over at Tony's Picks Ramon. Also, that morning steam, you have another show in the can up in the archive today, as you covered the full card today from NBA, NHL, some college hoops in there. We've got some college football up there.
Yeah, that's right. To get my free play today at Tony's Picks Ramon, it's going to come to you in college basketball, and it's going to be in the game between Northwestern State and Texas A&M. I don't know what you were going to call the college hoop, Tony, but it probably sounds like hoop. And not a great card, but get that free pick, Northwestern State and Texas A&M. Also, Mindy and I will be back tomorrow, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific, with more morning steam. We'll start to preview more action tomorrow. You mentioned that college basketball starting to heat up. We'll get through these bowl games. Certainly, you heard her say, what we're going to cover tomorrow. That's because she's the executive producer of the show. I'm just tagging along. So, we'll decide tomorrow how many games we need to cover, but we're always covering the late bowl games for that day, but also the early bowl games for the next day. So we get those videos up there. They have a little bit of a shelf life, and people can get previews. But I'd like everybody to come and be ready. Our chat's so good with their stats, and every day it seems like you get another person or two that comes in with some good stats. And I think this is the type of show that people are looking for, when it comes to getting their day started with the betting, because, there are a lot of talking heads on regular TV, if you will, even on some of the YouTube shows where they just kind of brush over a little bit, but they don't give you maybe the hardcore data that Mindy comes with, and I'm coming in with some stats myself, and the chat's coming in with their own opinions as well. Kind of gives you, for the ones that don't have the stats in the chat, but it does give you a little bit of public perception as to what the public is thinking, and you always want to consider, what you're doing against the public or with the public to a certain extent. I really like when our chat agrees with us, but that always isn't necessarily the case. And sometimes they're all over the place, right, with each other. And Mindy and I just put our fist down and make the call ourselves. But when the chat's all on board with us and we're on it with a consensus play, that's what I like to see. And then when they look at the leaderboard standings, don't forget, when you look at the morning steam and you're part of Team Steam, well, that's a representation of all of us, not just Mindy and I. If we're on top of the leaderboard, that's all of our chat. And I like to think that they're a part of that too. So that's what we do over at the Morning Steam with our show, and it's been, I'd say, a rousing success, at least in Mindy and I's eyes so far, because of the turnout. And we thought it'd be kind of slow this week, but yesterday we were cranking, getting close to 50 live viewers, and you see how strong the final viewership was as well on YouTube. And I'm also sending it out, to the Twitter feed, and that's getting some run too there, from what I noticed when you click on it, because you can see the number of views. So it's been real good, and I want everybody to check us out if they can. If not live, then on delay. It doesn't matter when you check it out. Just check it out.
That's right. You can also, for those of you that are at work right now, you're driving, you can also check it out on the podcast, Tony's Picks Podcast, available on all major platforms. Every pick in podcast form. Tony's Picks, the podcast, major platforms. So those of you at work, you can drive home and get that 2-hour show. Lots of information there from Ramon and Mindy here. Pertinent information that you get here. Only we get on shows like these. Of course, a lot of the media, they got to keep it positive. They need viewers. That's really what we need, viewers too, but we want to make, but we have to relay the most pertinent information for bettors. That's what they want. They just don't want the rose petals. That's how it has to be in this industry to get the respect of the audience. Of course, because that's how it rolls. When you're betting money, you got to know the good and the bad. Sometimes you bet on the negative.
Hey, that's the toughest thing to do is get there every day and do the show. But I mean, that's how you get into a good groove too. And make sure that's important for all handicappers. You just can't roll out of bed on the weekend. And I mean, you can do whatever you want, but to get the flow of the teams and everything. How do you know when the team is ready to go on a run? You just kind of feel it, right? I mean, you see the performances, you're analyzing it every day, and that's how you get a feel for when a team can carry you to some wins and build your bankroll a little bit. You got to do that work every day, and that's what it happens when you do a show every day too. I think it's been really beneficial for Mindy and I.
That's right. So check out Morning Steam Saturday through Thursday on our channel here at Tony's Picks. So make sure you subscribe. All right, Ramon, keep up that great work, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
All right, good job. Enjoy the games.
You got it. Ramon Scott here on Game Day Picks. Guys, we're with you here on Game Day Picks Monday through Friday here at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. If you would, make sure you like, subscribe, and set those notifications. We'd like you guys to be live with us so you get the best numbers from these picks that we give out here on the show. That's how you do it here on the way you do it is just subscribe and set notifications. Let's continue on here on Game Day Picks. I'll get my card up there for you right now. We're going here to this Notre Dame Jacksonville game at 7 Eastern Time. Notre Dame's going to be laying 8, total of 129. I'll be looking here at this underdog Jacksonville here at plus the 8. Notre Dame have not been a really good cover team. Now, Jacksonville comes from the A-Sun League conference where you find teams like Florida Gulf Coast. They're 7-3 this season. They've had a few missteps on the road this year. They've had some issues with turnovers and on the glass, but they do make their free throws. They do make their 3-point shots at 34% and 50% inside. And they are an experienced team, sitting 39th in Division I experience. Notre Dame, they're 7-5. They're 0-2 in the ACC. A couple of 1-point losses here to Syracuse at home and then one at Florida. The Fighting Irish, they do shoot the ball well. They're weak, though, on the offensive glass and with their 2-point defense. And that's one of the strengths there of the Dolphins is they're good at shooting inside. And the Fighting Irish, they have failed to cover 6 of 7 as a home favorite. When you're at home and against the mid-majors, you should be able to dominate inside. And they have not been able to do that. The Dolphins have been a good defensive team on the road, holding teams at 41%, 29% from 3. So we'll go ahead and take that plus 8 here with Jacksonville. All right, guys, check out Tony'sPicks.com right now. I've got plays up for you right now on the board. I'll bring up my profile up here so you can see. We've got actually a best bet and as well as a 3-pack, and I bundled my best bet in my 3-pack. So we got a college football bowl game up there for you as well as a best bet, or that's also part of my 3-pack up there tonight as we give you some plays here from college football and a couple from the NBA here with our 3-pack. So go ahead and get signed up there if you would, and use that promo code TonyT at checkout, and you'll save 20% off. You can access my page by clicking the link you see in the description. Click the All Cappers tab, and then you'll land right here on my page and go ahead and get signed up to those longer term to my place for today. Or again, the long-term pass. We're talking about that 7-day pass. That's really good value right now, especially with all these bowl games this week. And that will cover you through, next week, right? Through next Monday. And that will cover, next Monday is when we have the Rose Bowl and Monday Night Football as well. So good sports coverage when you get that 7-day sports pass. That's the best value there right now over at Tony's Picks. All right, let's continue on here with the show. It's now time to recap our plays from today's show. We had Mindy on Coastal Carolina and East Carolina under 66. We had Ramon with the Knicks Mavericks over 218.5. And of course, yours truly here on Jacksonville plus 8 against Notre Dame. All right, that's going to do it here for this edition here of Game Day Picks, guys. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow live here at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. Bring in our cappers in from Tony's Picks. We'll give out live free plays for the action on Wednesday. So make sure you do that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. All right, let's go ahead and bring in our crew from today. Go ahead and wake up. Bye, guys.